Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Happy Father's Day. Let's get to it, man. Let's get back to it. AMC cycle. This video is going to be a different perspective. I want to talk about something that I think would make a little bit more sense with where we're at in the cycle, what we're tracking, what we could potentially experience in the next few weeks, if all plays out according to plan. Okay, so let's just update some things real quick. We have the point of interest here. We have about 3 days before we come outside. Now we do have that little tiny window right outside, plus or minus 2 days that I track. Okay, that is something I track on every cycle. We haven't seen that happen before. We got very close in January here. Okay, we were literally a day behind on the cycle, and then it happened. Right, so that's why you got to track it till the end, man. You got to track it till the end. Now, with this cycle, this is where I'm going to pull up the parallel channel that we talk about here. Okay, this is the year-long cycle on AMC. Now, the interesting thing here, okay, and this ranges back, the parallel channel levels that we track are ranging back from 2020, okay, the COVID crash, correction, whatever. And that is what we're going to use here for this example. Now, the interesting thing about this little parallel channel that we have going on here is, well, it actually started to descend. Okay, so we were normally tracking this before using this, right? You guys remember this? We're still tracking this because I believe that we have, and we're currently playing out a large version of what happened back down here, because both of them, if you track it from the parallel channel and then you take the support of that, you get this. So you get AMC coming out, and then also on the volatility zone, which is just taking the highs, right, of everything here. You come back in, you come back out very quickly. That's what we call this, the volatility zone. And then this is also telling us that we were outside of the zone for 240 days, right? So now, I'm taking all of this, but I'm using the parallel channel mainly for it because I found some stuff, man, that is pretty interesting. So if we look at this from a year-long perspective on AMC, we know that on the way up, okay, we had a cycle, so a 120-day cycle where things went up, volatility, and then things went up again, volatility in June. So that's 2 volatility zones inside 1 year. Okay, same thing over here. We have 2 volatility zones, so we have 4 total, and this is the little POI lines here for you, so we can see 2 and 2. Now, the freaking crazy thing about this all is that they follow the 120-day cycle. This is the one that has been very accurate in spotting the run-ups that we've had before. So the March run-up and August run-up were predicted using this same analysis here, which is shorts cover, they pump the stock, they use the option chain to manipulate and then trade it sideways, suppress it, and then they release everything again, typically about 120 days after it all goes down, right? So about 124, about 125, right? Same thing. So now if we use this, we apply it to the current chart, we know that there's no volatility right now. Okay, so AMC has not had any volatility, anything crazy at least that we've experienced before, like we've seen in 2022 and in 2021. So that's where you kind of have to think, well, everything else in the market is rallying right now. We're getting very close to the peak in the cycle, which means that the markets are probably going to start coming down very soon. And, AMC is just pretty flat right now, but it's still respecting the ascending support trend line. And this is the first bullish thing to track on AMC just using regular TA, is that it's still creating higher lows. This is still bullish for AMC. So if we track and we put these together, we know that there's no volatility zones playing out on AMC right now, and there's still quite a bit to go here on the year-long cycle. So if we put this together with this, now this is the next thing I'm going to talk about, and these two go together, man. All right, so we have now these 4-month, these are 4-month candles split up on the AMC chart. So if you go on the 4-month interval, you're going to get something like this. And then this right here is the projection I have. So this is me just getting ahead of myself, trying to figure out what the macro chart could potentially look like, because this is the first green candle we have seen on AMC, okay? And, you know, we closed green. This was the first green candle. So now we're coming up to what is this next cycle here in June, right? So the POI starts. Where have we seen this before? We've seen it back here. Now, the only difference is we didn't have a volatility zone here, so the price remained flat. But if we track the parallel channel, we know that AMC was climbing up here prior to the massive rally we had in June. The same thing right here. AMC is respecting the parallel channel, but we just don't have the POI yet. So I'm going to tell you guys what I think is going to happen here. I made a little projection, and it does have to follow this projection for it to be more likely to pan out. But I've already said this before, and I think that this specific cycle here is not going to be the big one. The big one that I think is going to go down is in August. I've said this on every single video, but I do believe that in this cycle, in order for things to still hold and be bullish for AMC, I would like things to be bullish, and you know, like, we need to have some kind of volume here in the next few days, because, you know, this is what I'm thinking for the next few days, because if we don't, then it's going to make it you know, a little bit harder to put any kind of pressure on the shorts, right? Shorts squeezes are triggered when there's a lot of pressure on shorts, and volume does have to exceed and cross that threshold that they have. So there is a limit, all right, to these. That's how short squeezes are triggered. So you can see this one goes up to the $25 range in August on the August point of interest. And on this one, it rises up to around that $8 range, which is still going to be higher than that 70% level. You know, that 70% range you do have to meet. This is where we track the changes indicator, ROC. And all the points of interest have at least a 70% move that we've experienced. So if it does have that here, it would be considered a positive POI, and the first one that we've had in 4 cycles. Otherwise, if it remains flat, it's just going to be another inverse one. And then if things are still bullish, say that we're just climbing up, it's just slow and bullish, that would be something else to track here. But zooming out of the chart, this is where, like, we need to zoom out and see what AMC has the potential to make here. Now, this is just a projection based on what the chart is telling me and what it could potentially do here. But if we climb up to this range, this is a fib level, and it's also, you use this literally using AMC's charts, and I'll pull one up here to show you guys, but this is just a macro pennant pattern. Now, if the algorithm were to do what the algorithm does, right, just the algorithm is just constantly running, it's just a computer, then things would probably come up to that $30 range, you know, anywhere between, that's just an average. And you can use this using natural fibs, using natural patterns, guys. And you can take AMC's pennant here. This is a pennant on AMC. You can stretch this guy out, and it's going to give you the same levels. It's going to give, from the highs right here and the lows, it's going to give you the same level right here. Okay, so you can take any other pennants. I mean, we can take this one right here is also a pennant on AMC. Do the same thing. All right. The high. This one's going to be a little tricky to do. To the low, and you have also a very similar range. It's still, this is a different version of the pennant, but you do have the same thing where it comes up to that sort of, yeah, around 33, 30, 25, whatever. And then the price just trades sideways from there. Now, if the algorithm were to break here, this is where, you know, when the volume exceeds the shorts threshold, and especially in the option chain, that is normally what triggers these short squeezes. Okay, so that's what needs to happen there. This is going to be just a very basic TA test if AMC were to climb up here. And if it's going to make a macro pennant, that is where that would be a potential range to track if price gets rejected. Otherwise, things can continue to go up higher. This could be a massive projector pattern. You guys know how projectors work. Come up, come back down, and then the price just starts to go crazy. That's another way to track this as well. But, you know, my target still holds, guys. I don't see why, you know, after everything in the market, what the market is currently experiencing right now, I don't see why AMC in any way should come down. I mean, AMC is doing pretty good right now. You know, I don't like to speak too much on the fundamental part, but, you know, you're looking at all these other stocks in the market that happen to be down very quickly into the dollar range, and AMC hasn't done that, man. They haven't been able to. So you do have to look at those stocks and compare them to AMC because, you know, just how quickly those guys got there. Those, you know, some of them were memes as well. Xella, we have BBIG, right? Nikola now is having some price action, which also correlates with the cycle. But, you know, luckily Nikola didn't get super beat down to some of those extreme levels like, you know, Bed Bath & Beyond and stuff. But still, it did get beat down for a really long time. We haven't seen that on AMC, man. It's holding up well, and we're starting to see everything climb up here. So I'm still bullish. I'm going to update this, man, in the next few days and check on it, but I think we're close. Guys, if you have any comments or any questions, just drop them in the chat, and I will get to them on the next video. But before I go, all right, I did start something on the Discord. It's called the Weekly Challenge, all right? So we're doing one this week again. Every single week, we do trades. We try to 1x, you know, anything, right? Not financial advice, none of that, right? But 1x the investment, and been pretty good at it so far. That was last week's plays, and we have a nice little blueprint coming out later today as well for what we're tracking this week using the same approach that I do on AMC, right? The same POI approach. So it's just a little example. We also have some of these other plays, just kind of how it's structured. Okay, that's the weekly challenge for the week. And then also to update the CFX play, right? This one was pretty huge because I went ahead and provided this in the free chat, something we tracked for like 3 months, man, and that thing fully panned out. And that is just a little example here of what happened with that play. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure you go to TWE Charts, all right, twecharts.com. It'll take you straight there, man. We have some of these POIs right now that we're tracking. You also get the charts section, which does update every single week as well. All right, guys. So other than that, man, that is it for me. You guys take care. I'll see you on the next stream. All right.